So Mickey, we hit it. Dow's at 20K and then stood there for the rest of the week. The milestone that you had called not long ago. Now that it stays there, what happens next?
You know, historically, when we break a really big whole number, like in the thousands number, the 10,000, 15, 60, anything, it's not uncommon to see a strong push through and holding up for possibly a quarter. And there is some momentum behind it, so I'm not surprised to see if we do stay above. It still feels the market's extended. Earnings have been coming out and haven't been bad, so we've got that little helping to push us through. We've got a lot of momentum from our new president to stimulate growth. So right now it looks like we're going to hold above. I don't know how long. Next week we could get news and it brings us right down. So as of today, we look good.
Well, I guess I'd like to talk a little bit more about sort of the underlying principles behind that, because as you pointed out, there's been a lot of, let's just say personality-driven news with the new presidential administration. But what I thought was lost on the back page were things like, earnings reports, but also the fact that there was a fourth quarter economic growth report that was a paltry 1.9%. Where does that leave us in terms of things like interest rates, market ability to grow in the next coming months, if not quarters? I'd love your thoughts on that.
It's really been interesting the past couple of years is we keep getting all these different economic readings of this one's strong, that one's weak. We get jobs reports that are weak when they should be strong. We get this GDP that's a little on the weak side. We get consumer sentiment that might be strong or weak. And it just seems like everything gets thrown into this one big bowl, mixed up, and the market just keeps going higher. The interest rates are still low. Money has to go somewhere to get yield. There's a lot of hype with, like you said, political personalities. There's a lot of hype on growth. So the one side of me would say you got to look at these numbers and think this does not, going forward, this could be an issue. But the train just keeps going straight forward, and you can't step in front of that train because you'll get run over. So I was looking online at the Wall Street Journal, you read every expert. There's some experts saying this market's in for a huge crash. Another one's saying this one's going straight up. No one knows. And there's a reason, because we just don't know. And I'm the first to admit that I don't know. I'm looking at the trends, the momentum, all kinds of quantitative statistics, and I'm just saying we're holding strong. And until things actually change, until the statistics of the market say we're changing, which they haven't, I'm just holding on.
So we'll just ride the wave in the short term. Is that what you're advising?
Exactly. Because if you start overthinking things and when you try to outsmart the market, it's impossible. You always end up looking like with egg on your face. There were people 2 years ago saying this market had reached the top, it was over, and look where we are now. There were people when Donald Trump was elected president, this is the end. The market was down 4% that night. And look what happened the next day. We dropped down and rallied straight up. So we get this GDP report today that was, like you said, somewhat weak. We got jobs report, the claims yesterday were a little higher than expected. Housing sales a little weaker. But the market just keeps going. And it does not make a lot of sense. And trying to make sense of nonsense, it's too hard. So my job is just to try to keep my clients calm and just say, we're just going to stay calm. We're going to follow the market until it gives us indicators that things are changing. And there's been no change. And now that we crossed 20,000, I don't see a change. Now, if we break below and we really start selling off on some heavy volume and we get some news that fundamentally changes things, then I'm going to rethink and look to make a change. But right now, things look good.
So we'll stay with it until told otherwise, and be ready for your analysis when the numbers actually prove a trend. In the meantime, Mickey, there's a lot of people probably want to ask you some questions offline. How can they get a hold of you?
Email me directly, Mickey, Mickey, at Envestim, ENVESTIM.com. I answer all my emails. You'll get an email response right away. You can follow us on Facebook on our page, it's Envestim. And you can follow us on Twitter at Envestim1.
Thanks as always, Mickey. We'll talk next week.
Sounds great, David. Thank you very much.